Breaking now, Princess Leonor wedding live, Spain in tears 2025. The streets of Madrid are silent, the flags lowered, and across every Spanish home, hearts are trembling. Because right now, live from Denmark, the world is watching a moment that feels both like a dream and a goodbye. Princess Leonor, the future Queen of Spain, is walking down the aisle. But as she steps into her new life, her country, her people, are in tears. For years, Spain has watched her grow, from the shy little girl waving at balconies beside her parents to the confident young woman taking her oath to serve her nation. And now, she's standing at the altar, her voice steady, her heart full, marrying the man who changed the destiny of two monarchies. The world has waited for this day. But no one expected it to feel this emotional. Because this is not just a royal wedding. It's a moment of history, love, and sacrifice playing out before millions of eyes. The cathedral in Copenhagen glows under golden light. The music swells. Guests from every royal house in Europe sit in silence. And as Leonor takes her first steps down the aisle, escorted by King Felipe, Spain feels the weight of every footstep. Each step echoes the story of a young woman raised to lead, but now choosing love across borders. Queen Letizia sits near the front, tears glistening in her eyes. She's proud, yes, but also emotional. Every mother watching can feel it. That mix of joy and heartbreak. That moment when you realize your daughter has become her own destiny. And there, waiting at the altar, stands Prince Christian of Denmark, composed, yet clearly overcome with emotion. His eyes follow Leonor as though no one else exists. When their hands finally meet, the entire cathedral holds its breath. This is the image that will live forever. Spain's princess and Denmark's prince, bound by love, witnessed by Europe, crowned by destiny. But how did we get here? How did two young royals, separated by nations and tradition, find their way to this moment? To understand this, we must go back to where it all began. It started quietly, years ago, during the early years of Leonor's royal training. She was just beginning her journey as the Princess of Asturias, balancing her studies, her duty, and the immense pressure of being Spain's future queen. Around the same time, Prince Christian was also stepping into the spotlight. The Danish press called him the quiet strength of the North. He was disciplined, graceful, but guarded, just like Leonor. Their paths crossed at international royal events, youth summits, and charity gatherings. At first, it was formality. Then friendship. And then, something deeper. They shared the same struggle, the loneliness of responsibility. The burden of being watched. The fear of not being allowed to simply be human. In each other, they found understanding. And that was the beginning of everything. At first, both royal houses dismissed the growing bond as harmless friendship. But insiders say that by 2023, their connection had grown undeniable. Leonor's visits to Denmark, once discreet, became harder to hide. There were smiles exchanged during state events, glances that cameras caught, and moments that said more than words ever could. Still, royal tradition demanded silence. Spain could not afford a scandal. Denmark could not invite speculation. So, they waited, patiently. But love has its own timing. Then, in early 2024, the truth began to surface. Photos leaked of Leonor in Copenhagen, walking beside Christian near Nyhavn. Within hours, every headline across Europe blazed with the same words, the heir and the prince. Spain was divided. Some saw it as a fairy tale, others as a distraction from her duty. The press called it a royal risk. But Leonor never spoke, never denied, never confirmed. She just smiled, focused, and carried on. Until this year. The announcement came with no leaks, no rumors, just an official royal statement. Spain's royal household confirmed the engagement of Princess Leonor de Bourbon-Ortiz and His Royal Highness Prince Christian of Denmark. It was the news that stunned Europe, and moved it. For the first time in generations, two heirs of two reigning monarchies were choosing each other, not for politics, not for alliance, but for love. The engagement ceremony was intimate, yet symbolic. Leonor wore a delicate gold cross, a gift from her grandmother, Queen Sophia. Christian presented her with a Danish ring adorned with a single Spanish diamond. The gesture said everything. Two worlds, one bond. And now, the world watches as that bond becomes eternal. The wedding is breathtaking. The cathedral ceiling gleams with candlelight. Choirs sing softly in both Spanish and Danish. The atmosphere is heavy with history and hope. When Leonor reaches the altar, she pauses, looks up, and smiles. Not just at Christian, but at the people watching, at her parents, at her country. That one look says, I have not left you. I carry you with me. Then comes the moment everyone has been waiting for, the vows. Christian's voice shakes slightly as he begins. You are my strength, my peace, and my home. From this day forward, I vow to stand beside you, not as a prince, not as a king, but as the man who loves you beyond titles. Leonor takes a breath, her eyes glassy, her voice unwavering. I was born to serve my country, but my heart learned to love in your world. With you, I have found not a throne, but freedom. The audience gasps softly. The priest blesses their union. The crown of flowers is placed. And as they kiss, the cathedral erupts in applause. Outside, the crowds roar. In Spain, television screens are flooded with images of celebration. But also, tears. Across Madrid, people wave flags, red and gold banners fluttering in the wind. Some cry openly, some smile through emotion. Nuestra Reina del Amor, the signs read, Our Queen of Love. It's a moment of national pride mixed with heartache. Spain knows it hasn't lost Leonor, but it feels like it. For years, she was theirs alone. Now, she belongs to history. After the ceremony, the couple emerges onto the balcony of Amalienburg Palace. Leonor, radiant in her bridal gown, waves with Christian by her side. Below, thousands of fans chant their names in both Spanish and Danish. The scene is pure magic, a fairy tale come to life. But what happens next is even more moving. Leonor takes the microphone during the state dinner. Her speech, delivered in both Spanish and Danish, leaves the audience in tears. To my people in Spain, she begins, Today I marry not away from you, but with you in my heart. You made me who I am. Every step I take in this new life honors the promise I made to serve you. Applause fills the hall. Cameras catch Queen Letizia wiping her tears. King Felipe nods proudly. Even Queen Margrethe, rarely emotional in public, is visibly moved. Christian then takes her hand and adds softly, And to Spain, thank you for trusting me with her heart. I promise to guard it as my own. The room erupts in applause once again. That moment, two nations joined not by treaty but by love, has already become the defining image of Europe's new royal generation. As night falls, fireworks illuminate Copenhagen's skyline. The newlyweds share their first dance to a Spanish ballad translated into Danish. Around them, the world watches, mesmerized. This wedding is more than celebration, it's transformation. The dawn of a new chapter where royalty meets humanity. In Spain, millions stay glued to their screens. Elderly citizens whisper prayers. Children wave flags. Every corner of the country feels united in bittersweet pride. For the first time in decades, Spain weeps not from scandal or sorrow, but from love. Because they see in Leonor something greater than a crown. They see courage, faith, and hope. And as the ceremony ends, as the cathedral doors close, one thing is certain, Spain hasn't lost a princess. The world has gained a Queen of Hearts. When dawn breaks over Copenhagen, the bells ring once more. Leonor and Christian step into the new day as husband and wife. She looks up at him and whispers, Are you ready? He smiles. We were born ready. And just like that, Europe enters a new era, not of politics or power, but of love strong enough to move nations. Spain may be in tears tonight, but they are tears of pride, of memory, of a nation watching its future walk hand in hand with destiny. Because this isn't just a royal wedding. It's history unfolding in real time. Princess Leonor's wedding isn't the end of her story. It's the moment she becomes more than a princess, more than an heir. She becomes the living symbol of love that unites, of duty that serves, and of faith that never fades. And as the bells continue to echo across Europe, one truth rings louder than ever. Spain's crown may be gold, but its heart is love.